So I'm actually about to go pick up the new M3 MacBook Air, and what I've decided to do is actually unplug my Mac Studio so that I can give the Air a real world, real life experience and test. But in saying that, I will still have my M1 Pro MacBook Pro available to me because I want to put those two head to head, the M3 versus the M1 Pro. They're both going to have 16 gigs of RAM and they're both going to have 512 gigs of storage. So really it's just going to come down to, is the M3 better than the M1 Pro, and can I finally replace this MacBook Pro with a MacBook Air? But we're gonna have to see. So I'm gonna see you guys in a week. The weather is finally starting to get nicer, so I decided to take my morning coffee outside onto a patio. The M3 MacBook Air design is identical to last year's M2, which honestly I don't have any problems with because I love the design last year and it just translates over to this year as well. It's insanely thin, it's super light, and such a compact form factor that it makes carrying around this laptop feel so effortless. We also have the same port selection as last year with two USB-C/Thunderbolt ports, MagSafe for charging, and the 3.5mm audio jack. I'm starting the day by getting some emails done, planning out my day using my to-do list app of choice Things 3, and also catching up on any news and social media. The Magic Keyboard is the same that's found on not only last year's model, but also the MacBook Pros as well, and it's easily one of my favorite keyboards of all time. It's just such a quick and minimal typing experience that I can type on this thing all day long. And when it comes to the trackpad, it's still arguably the best trackpad on any laptop out there, which makes any scrolling or moving around macOS super fluid and smooth, and the haptic clicks are just as satisfying as ever. I've been working on a new personal project, so I'm heading into an art gallery to snap a few photos. Part of the project is shooting all the photos on the iPhone, which is a fun challenge as I get to push the iPhone camera, but also have the simplicity of just shooting on a smartphone. After snapping a bunch of photos, I found a chill spot inside a greenhouse to airdrop all the photos over to the MacBook Air. I imported them into Photomator and skimmed through them briefly to get a quick look at all the photos. I made some slight tweaks and adjustments to a few of them just to match the colors and make sure that everything looks consistent. I also threw a few of them into Pixelmator Pro to remove the background, and I'm just super excited about getting this project going. If there's one thing I'm going to miss coming from the MacBook Pro, it's definitely going to be the SD card slot. And I get it, I know it's kind of like a Pro thing, but then again, you can purchase the same spec MacBook Pro and MacBook Air, so technically it wouldn't even make that big of a difference. Like, it's not going to make the chassis bigger, or it's not going to make it heavier, so I feel like you can definitely make it work, Apple. Please, SD card slot on the MacBook Air. Just got all of the footage offloaded onto the SSD, and now we're gonna go ahead and start filming for a different video. I'm working on a 6-month-ish later review of the Mac Studio. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the MacBook Air and get it set up at the desk setup and get some editing done and basically catch up on a bunch of stuff. So let's get to filming. This is having a small space problems right here. So I've gotten a lot of questions when it comes to video editing, like can the M3 handle video editing? And it's a very easy yes. Like, this has the same media engine as the Pro and the Max, so when it comes to video editing, it can handle it no problem. It's really kind of more reliant on the RAM. Like, as long as you have enough RAM, you can edit no problem. But in saying that, if you're someone who's going to be putting like a lot of presets, graphics, motions, and whatnot, like, that is when you're going to want either a Pro or even a Max, depending on how much you plan on doing. But if you're just chopping footage together, piecing it together, this thing can handle it no problem. The only difference here is under View, I have it set to better performance instead of better quality. But other than that, I've just dropped all of my footage in from my SD card. So Sony FX30 footage, 4K, 10-bit, 422, skimming, no problems at all, and playback, zero issues whatsoever. As I've been editing all the photos I shot earlier at the art gallery today, I'm not noticing a single problem, issue, hiccup whatsoever, which was kind of to be expected though, because the M2 could photo edit no problem, the M1 even, no problems whatsoever. So of course the M3 is just going to handle it like a champ. And what I will say is when I'm editing individual photos, I'm literally zero difference over like when I compare it to previous models, no difference whatsoever. But a big difference I'm seeing here is when it comes to batch editing. So when I'm editing a bunch of photos at a time, I feel like I can push the M3 more. Like the M2, I could probably do, let's say like 15 to 20 photos at a time. Whereas here with the M3, I can push that to like 25, even 30 photos if I wanted to. Like right now in particular, these are iPhone photos, so not as heavy as something like a mirrorless or DSLR camera, but still like 30 photo batch edit, I'm happy with that. Now, when Apple announced the new M3 MacBook Air, it was really the first time they quoted a device being AI capable. Apple typically refers to it as machine learning, which is basically their fancy term for AI. But with the MacBook Air, it was the first time they really quoted AI. So I wanted to go ahead and test out this super resolution feature within Pixelmator Pro, which uses the machine learning within the chips to basically upscale the resolution. And it does seem like the MacBook Air is going to finish this quite a lot faster, actually. I did not see that coming. But something that I personally do a ton is I remove the background from images. So let's say I want to get rid of the background and just have the MacBook Air available. I'm just going to head up here and we're just going to hit remove the background in 3, 2, 1. And it does seem like the Air is going to finish this quite a bit quicker again, which definitely is a factor of the new neural engine within the M3. And yeah, that's actually quite a bit faster. Not sure the timing wise, but that was definitely quite a bit quicker. The actual quality of the cutout seems to be basically the exact same, but that was definitely a lot faster. So that is really nice to see that the neural engine or the machine learning is definitely pulling through on the M3. Now, since I do have the MacBook Pro, I figured I'd test the Wi-Fi capabilities because the MacBook Air now supports Wi-Fi 6E. My router is only Wi-Fi 6, but there should still be a pretty decent improvement in comparison to the MacBook Pro. Easily one of the best parts about the MacBook Air is just how thin and light this thing is. So I'm going to sit on the couch for the rest of the night and basically get the thumbnail for this video done. I also am going to finally finish the series Masters of the Air over on Apple TV. Been a big fan of that show, and they got the series finale. We got that watch, get this thumbnail done, and basically call it a day. So what is the final verdict when it comes to the M3 MacBook Air? Well, I can very happily say that this is going to be replacing my M2 MacBook Air and my M1 Pro MacBook Pro. And it really just comes down to the fact that I love this form factor. The MacBook Air easily has the best form factor. Like, it is so thin, it is so lightweight. Even just holding it like this, it just feels like nothing. And the fact that I'm not compromising on performance is a huge bonus. This M3 can handle so much. It can handle more than my M1 Pro MacBook Pro. So it really is a no-brainer to hang on to this thing. And I'm so excited to make this my laptop or my Mac choice for when I'm out and about. The M3 MacBook Air is definitely the way to go. I do think this is the best laptop in Apple's lineup. But let me know what you guys think of it. Would you go with the M3 MacBook Air? Would you go with an older generation model? Let me know in the comments, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.